So I finally went to my first horror convention. I went down to Spooky Empire in Orlando, Florida this past weekend. Had a really great time. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the autographs I got, my thoughts on my first convention. We'll get into it right after this. Welcome back to Pot's Movie Dungeon. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Pot's Movie Dungeon. I appreciate you clicking on this video. So like I said, this past weekend I went to my first horror convention, Spooky Empire 2024, down in Orlando, Florida. Had an absolute blast. This past weekend was my 53rd birthday. My beautiful wife, our great friends, Brandy and Ryan. Ryan, as you know, is Dr. Ordinary. He's done a few streams with us. Him and his beautiful wife, all four of us had just a great time together. We went down there, just had an absolute blast. We finally got to meet Brian Goes Blue and Coco. Really good friends. I've been streaming with them for years, and it was really great to finally meet them. One of the highlights of the weekend was hanging out with them this weekend, getting to know them. Absolute fantastic people. I'm going to link their channel down below. Please go subscribe to them. I'm sure they're going to throw a video up also of their take on the convention this weekend. But we got to have dinner with them. We had a few meals with them. We hung out with them, partied by the pool at the Saturday night pool party. Just had an absolute blast. So as I'm going through the video here, I'm going to throw up some pictures from the convention. So I'm sure you'll see all of us together. And like I said, meeting Brian and Coco was one of the highlights of the weekend. Had a really great time. I just want to thank my wife and Brandy and Ryan for making this weekend possible. We couldn't have done it without them. Ryan was nice enough to buy me and him VIP passes for the weekend, which is an absolute blast. We got to go to the VIP party Saturday night. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But the biggest thing about the VIP is we got to go into the autograph room like an hour before everybody else. We got to skip a lot of the lines, which really saved us a lot of time. Really, there wasn't a ton of people there. I don't know what it's normally like, but the autograph lines were not that bad. Even for people that did not have the VIP, the lines weren't terrible. Now, some of the bigger people that were there, like Alice Cooper, his line was pretty long. So the VIP really helped out with that. There was probably 50 people in his line. We got to skip in the VIP line behind about 2 or 3 people. What would have took probably an hour took about 5-10 minutes. So the VIP pass is definitely the way to go if you can afford it. I personally really can't afford it, but Ryan was nice enough to give that to me as a birthday gift. So Ryan, again, thank you so much for that. It was a blast. I can't thank you enough. So what I want to do in this video here is I want to go through some of the autographs and the cool shit that I got signed, talk about the people that I met, talk about the people that I really liked, talk about one in particular person I did not like, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But my overall experience with this convention was it was an absolute blast. One thing I've always heard about these conventions is that the horror community, all these people down there, the fans and the stars for the most part, are super nice, super welcoming. Everybody's laid back, everybody's friendly. And I can attest to that. It was a great vibe. Walking around, seeing all the people in their costumes, everybody was nice, everybody was friendly, there was no bullshit. All the actors that we met, with the exception of maybe one, was super friendly. It was just a great vibe. And like, if you've never been to one of these, just know that you can go to this. You get to meet a lot of new people, a lot of cool people that are just laid back, that love horror movies. So I was extremely pleased with the group of people that were there. Everybody that we met was fantastic. So let's go ahead and get started with the autographs that I got. I got a few things I want to talk about, but let's go ahead and start with the autographs. Now I'm just going to say that, like I said, this is my first convention I've ever went to. Where I live at, you just don't get the chance to meet a lot of stars. So I was pretty starstruck. Like I said, I hadn't really met a lot of stars before. So when I met some of these people that I've been watching for years, movies that I've been watching, pretty much my whole life, whatever. When I got to meet some of these people, I was geeking out pretty hard. It was a lot at one time because we kind of went to the autograph room in one full session. All these autographs I'm about to show you got all at one time. And so it was kind of an overload. I know after me and Ryan got done in the autograph room and we met back up with the wives or whatever, my wife said, I don't like a 12-year-old kid who just watched Star Wars for the first time. So like I said, it was a great experience, something I'll never forget, and I will definitely be going back to more of these conventions. Now, I probably will not be dropping this kind of money on autographs the next time, I don't think. I kind of went balls to the wall this time because I'd never done it before. And let's just say when I got in that room, I had a pocket full of cash. Me and Ryan had just hit the ATM for the second time just to make sure we had enough cash on us. And let's just say that I walked out of there with $8. I ain't going to say how much I went in there with. Anybody that went into these conventions can probably figure this up. But let's just say I went in there with a wad of cash. I walked out with $8. Give you an idea. I'm not going to say how much I spent, but let's just say it was a lot. So let's start off with this one here first. So they have some people from Children of the Corn there. You have the director Fritz Kirsch. You have John Franklin, who played Isaac. You have Courtney Gaines that played Malachi. And John Philbin that played Amos. And we're going to talk more about John Philbin in just a minute. Let's go ahead and show you the autographs that I got here. I decided to take my Arrow 4K of Children of the Corn down there. There's that really nice slipcover. And this is what I got signed here. I'll leave that there so you guys can pause it and zoom in or whatever. I got Isaac and Malachi to sign the inside sleeve, whatever, my Children of the Corn. You have Isaac here that just basically said, he put his name and then Isaac right there.
He wants you too, Malachi.
And then on the other side, you have Courtney Gaines that put his name, his character name, and then he wrote his famous quote, Outlander.
Outlander! Outlander, maybe you don't hear so well.
So, this is going to be a prize piece, something I'll never get rid of. Very excited to meet these two guys. Had a great conversation with both of them. I was able to talk to Courtney Gaines about his part in The Burbs. You know, we were talking about him taking the trash to the end of the street, beating the hell out of the trash, what it was like to work with Tom Hanks. Just had a really great conversation. Also got a photo with both of these guys. I'll throw that up here as I'm talking at some point. Both these guys were super great. When I had a conversation with Isaac, and let's just say that Isaac, he's a real little guy. I'm a pretty big guy. And so the picture of me and him together was pretty disproportionate, let's just say. But this guy was great. Absolute, the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. But when I was talking to Isaac, I remember telling him that as a kid, he used to scare the shit out of me. And he just looked at me and kind of laughed. And he was like, you know, glad to be of service. And he just kind of smirked. And just seeing these guys after watching them all my life growing up, whatever, it was just such a treat. And I was just, like I said, I was geeking the fuck out. It was just fantastic. But like I said, this right here is something that I will always treasure. Just fantastic. So that is the first thing that I got signed. So moving on to something that was not quite as great of an experience. Anybody that watches my channel knows that I'm a big fan of the Blair Witch Project. And I did meet all three of the people from the Blair Witch Project, but I only got one signature. Like I said, these signatures started adding up pretty quick, whatever. They were averaging anywhere from $40 to $80. So like I said, that can add up pretty damn fast. And the only line I stood in was the one for Heather Donahue. My original plan was to get a signature of all three people from the Blair Witch. But I stood in line for Heather Donahue, and I had some other autographs I wanted to get, so I was going to go back and get the other two guys, Michael Williams and Joshua Leonard. But my money just kind of ran out, so I never got their autographs. But I did see them up close. Didn't really have a chance to talk to them too much. The only one I really spoke with was Heather Donahue. And I did get her autograph. Ryan was nice enough to find this out-of-print Blair Witch Steelbook. I do believe this was a Zavvi exclusive. So Ryan picked up one for himself, and he was nice enough to grab me one as well. And I did get her to sign the inside of this for me. So it's signed by Heather Donahue. It just says, to Alan. And the quote she put in there was marshmallows, which is not a quote that I would have chose. She wrote that without asking me, whatever, which that's fine. Anybody that's seen the movie knows what that's about. Not that big of a deal for me. But let's just say that they always say it's not good to meet people that meet the stars sometimes. Let's just say the Heather Donahue, I felt like, let's talk about Heather Donahue for a minute. I felt like she would have rather been anywhere in the world other than this convention. I know there's some backstory that she's not a big fan of the Blair Witch Project. She's not very happy about it. She don't like talking about it. Why she went to this convention, I'm assuming it was just for the money. But you can see it all over her face, whatever. She was friendly enough. She said, hey, how you doing? I told her, what a cool movie experience it was back in the day when I went to theaters and seen this. The only thing she asked me was I one of the people that believed it was real? I just told her that I wanted to believe it was real. You went into the theater with that doubt in your mind, which you weren't quite sure. And I said it was just a fantastic theater experience. I thanked her for it, told her how much I always enjoyed the movie. She did take a picture with me, whatever. I'll throw that up here as well. She was friendly enough, not overly friendly. I had just met the guys from Children of the Corn. So when I met her, she was not nearly as talkative and friendly as those guys. But like I said, friendly enough, got a picture with her. It was cool to meet her. And at this point, whatever, I was like, okay, that was okay. Is what it is. A little bit later, just to skip ahead for a minute, go to the question and answer session that they had for the Blair Witch guys. And so they walk out the director, Eduardo Sanchez, Heather Donahue, Michael Williams, and Joshua Leonard, the 3 stars and one of the directors. And so you have the interviewer and the 4 people from the movie. And, there's the microphone they kind of pass around as they're answering questions. And she sits there, and I think I took a little video or a picture of it. I'll try to throw that up here in just a minute. She's literally looking out at the audience like she's pissed off, don't want to be there, doesn't say a word. Everybody else gets the microphone and answers questions. When they try to hand her the microphone, she makes a really mean face and holds her hand up and like, no, I'm good. Like she don't want to talk at all. So she sits there and doesn't say anything about the movie. Doesn't answer any questions, doesn't respond to anybody's questions. Just sits there like she wants to beat somebody's ass. And me and Ryan are looking at each other like, what the hell is this? It was just really odd. So I don't know why she even came to this convention. It was something that kind of took me out of it a little bit. I wish I wouldn't have gave her $40 for an autograph. But it is what it is. I'm still a fan of the movie. It's cool to have an autograph from the movie. I wish I'd have got the other 2 guys and not hers, to be honest with you, because they seem to be nice. They answered a lot of questions. They seemed to enjoy being there. Heather Donahue seemed like she had rather been anywhere else. But that's enough about the Blair Witch Project. I'm still a fan. This is still a cool piece to have in my collection, but I'm not a big fan of hers. Let's just say that. All right, so getting into the really cool stuff here. Everybody knows that The Return of the Living Dead is one of my top 3 movies of all times. I absolutely love this film. It's a perfect blend of comedy and horror. I could talk about this movie forever. Just rewatched it again last night. 5 out of 5 stars. It's fantastic. I was extremely excited to meet John Philpin. Now, John Philpin, of course, we know he's been in some pretty great movies. He's been in Tombstone, Point Break, Return of the Living Dead, Children of the Corn as Amos. And so we got a chance to meet him. Absolute great guy. And he was nice enough to sign my 4K edition from Scream Factory. So let's see if it shows up there. He wrote on the slipcover there. So I'll tell you what it says here in a second. Let you guys look at that for a moment. And he wrote on there, it says, Alan, I like sex with death. And he signed it as Chuck, his character from Return of the Living Dead, John Philbin. And everybody knows the line. He talks to the girl. He says, I like sex with death. And he's like, do you like sex with death? And she says, yes, fuck off and die.
I like death.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yes, so fuck off and die.
He said that's what most people usually want him to put on there, so I told him to go for it. Yeah, big fan of this movie. It's really great to have a signature from somebody in the cast. Me and him had a great conversation about this movie. I asked him if he had any cool insight about the movie. I asked him what it was like working with Renee Quigley. I asked him what it was like to work with Clu Gallagher. And he had some really great stories about these guys. He talked a lot about Linnea Quigley. When they basically did the frontal nudity, she had hair down there, they shaved it, what it was like, the piece they had to put down there to kind of cover it up. We had a cool conversation about that. Absolute great guy. Like I said, it's almost like, we had to walk away because he was just wanting to talk so much. It was a fantastic experience. So this here is a prize piece. Absolutely love it. And also, I had went down there with my Children of the Corn stuff, and I absolutely forgot to grab this whatever out of my collection. Ryan had brought his copy down there, and he was nice enough to let me have his copy to get it signed. And of course, I'm going to give him the copy I have here. And he was nice enough to do that. So I was able to get Ryan's copy signed, which Ryan gave to me, and I'm going to give him my copy. He said he was cool with that. So thank you, Ryan, for bringing yours, because I was the dumbass that forgot to grab my copy. So luckily, I got something from Return of the Living Dead signed by John Philbin. Fantastic. And just to fast forward a little bit, that was Saturday morning. Saturday night, me and my wife and Ryan and his wife, Brian and Coco, we all meet up down at the pool for the pool party Saturday night. There was an Alice Cooper cover band all by the pool, probably 300 or 400 people around the pool, and some of the stars were walking around. Alex, I think his name was Alex Benson, the kid from Child's Play. He was out there doing stuff. I didn't get to meet him, but I seen him walk by, so that was pretty cool. But John Philbin was out there just hanging out with the fans, just shooting the shit. And I'd had a few drinks. I was geeking out when I seen him walk by. Well, Coco was kind enough to chase him down for me, to let him know it was my birthday and that I wanted to speak with him. He comes over there, shakes my hand. We have a nice long conversation. He's talking to everybody in the group, and I have a chance to talk to him about Tombstone. I have a chance to talk to him about Point Break. I get some really cool insight of both of those movies. I asked him questions that everybody always wonders about Tombstone. Did Kurt Russell really direct that movie? His reply was, "Fuck yeah, he did." And basically, Kurt Russell had his hand in everything, and he was as far as he was concerned, Kurt Russell was the one that directed Tombstone, which everybody pretty much knows anyway. I asked him what it was like working with Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves. He gave some really great insight. He said Keanu Reeves, all the story you hear about the great guy he is, he said they're all true. He says a class act. He said it was a fun movie. He's a surfer from California. He has been his whole life, whatever, and that's kind of how he got that role. We just rewatched Point Break yesterday when we got home, and let's just say that even though he's not the main star of that movie, he does have a lot of speaking lines. He's the one that plays the Jimmy Carter bank robber, you know, the dead presidents. You know, the ex-president bank robbers, he's Jimmy Carter. It makes me love these movies even more. I go back and watch these movies all the time. Just the fact that I got to meet somebody from the movie and got some insight talking to one of the stars. Man, I was just geeking out so fucking hard. Like I said, don't travel a whole lot. My town, you don't ever get to see shit like this. So just meeting some of the people, you know, from movies that I grew up loving, I can't put a price tag on it of how great it was. Just fantastic. Yeah, we also got to meet some other great people. We were able to meet Allison, which was a friend and subscriber from Brian Goes Blue and Coco 2. It was great to get to meet her and her family as well, her husband and her kids. Really great people. Allison's a lot of fun. When we ran into her at the pool party, she was not feeling any pain. She was having a few drinks, having a blast. There's a photo of all of us, including Allison. So, Allison, it was great to meet you and your family. I hope to run into you guys again the next time we go down there. So that was a blast meeting you as well. I'm going to throw a video up here of the pool party as well. The pool party, like I said, had a ton of people. It was really odd, though. It was really hot. You had this big, nice pool. You had a live band, the Allison Cooper cover band. I think they were called Billion Dollar Babies was playing. Doing a pretty good job doing the Alice Cooper songs, whatever. I mean, it was enjoyable. What was weird, though, is that all these people you're going to see in this video were all kind of standing around the pool. Probably 300 plus people, and there was like 5 people in the pool. I was expecting it to be shoulder to shoulder in the pool that night, as hot as it was, but everybody was just kind of standing around. I guess because a lot of people had costumes, stuff like that, but not a lot of people in the pool. But it was a really fun vibe, great place to people watch. You seen some of the stars. Pool party Saturday night was a lot of fun. Now, as far as the VIP party that me and Ryan went to, because we had the VIP passes, that was at 8 o'clock from 8 to 11 on Saturday night. Me and Ryan, we got there right at 8 o'clock, and we only stayed in there for about an hour. The vibe of that was not quite what I was hoping for. Basically, when you walk in, you get 2 free drink tickets. They have these specialty drinks in there, and then also you can get beer. The first drink me and Ryan got I think it was called Swamp Water or something like that was the name of the drink. It tasted like ass. When you first drink the drink, it's kind of sweet, and the back end of the taste was kind of like NyQuil. I don't know what the hell it was, but it wasn't good. The second drink, we both got a beer. We kind of just sat at the table. People watched a little bit. The cast of Children of the Corn was sitting one table over, so we got to say hey to them again. You see some of the cast of Friday the 13th walking around. The Greasy Strangler was there. As far as the Grizzly Strangler, I felt kind of bad for them because not a whole lot of people, I guess, knew who they were, so there was never a lot of people in their autograph line. They're kind of just sitting at the table. Nobody's really talking to them. Didn't get a chance to meet them personally. Never seen the movie. I am looking forward to seeing the movie to kind of see what I thought about it. I was hoping to see that movie before we went, but never got a chance to. But we did get to see the people from the Grizzly Strangler. So like I said, there was a few stars walking around, but for the most part, it was just a bunch of fans standing around having drinks. You know, there was some background music, you know, playing the Shining theme songs and just a lot of horror-related music. It was an okay time, and not as much as I was hoping to be. I guess I wanted it to be a different vibe. Maybe have more stars in there, the stars being a little more interactive. But for the most part, everybody was just kind of hanging out. All the cast of the Children of the Corn were sitting at one table, like I said, just kind of interacting with each other. Didn't want to bother them too much. They did have a few raffles. You got some raffle tickets in your swag bag when you first got your VIP passes, and they had a few door prizes that they were giving away raffles for. We left before they gave away those raffles. Real really much to it. There was just random stuff in there. Like there was a Camp Crystal Lake sign, which I already have. There was a poster signed by Derek Mears, a poster signed by pretty much everybody there that I put a raffle ticket on. Like I said, we left before they did the raffle, so I'm not sure. We knew that our friends and our wives were around the pool waiting for us. So we only stayed in there for about an hour. VIP party was okay. Not quite what I was hoping for, but still, it was a fun experience. But I will say the highlight of Saturday night was hanging out with family and friends, whatever, around the pool. That was a really fun time. It was hard to get up to the bar because there was so many people. But luckily, Brian was able to go back and grab his bottle from the room. And Brian and Coco, being the pros and the veterans they are at these things, Coco's carrying a backpack around loaded with beer. And so they were nice enough to share some of their beer with us, whatever, that night. So we had plenty of drinks. Nobody was feeling any pain. The pool party was definitely a highlight of the entire event. But, you know, like I said, great to meet Allison, her family, Brian and Coco. You just can't ask for a better time. We had such a great time. So the next thing I got signed, Absolute legend was there. Alice Cooper. You know, Alice Cooper was the biggest star that was there this weekend. He was like the highlight. And then, of course, his line was much longer. Thank God we had the VIP. But, you know, when you get up to Alice Cooper, everybody else was kind of at a normal table where you could reach out and shake their hand, that kind of stuff. Alice Cooper being a bigger star, there was like a double table in between the fans and himself. So you couldn't reach out and shake his hand. You couldn't reach over to him. He had his handler right beside him. But he was sitting there. He was very personable, very nice. And I was expecting Alice Cooper to be, you know, he's like 74 years old. Probably partied a lot. I was kind of expecting like an Ozzy Osbourne. You know, somebody that you couldn't understand, somebody that didn't really talk, not very articulate. Alice Cooper, I'm telling you, he was sharp as a damn razor. You could understand everything that he said. He seemed very, he seemed to have all his faculties. You know, he's probably partied a lot. But we found out in the Q&A later that he's been clean and sober for like 41 years. And this guy's still sharp as a damn razor. He still tours. He has like 8 tour dates coming up. It was an absolute honor to meet this guy. I listened to him my whole life growing up, whatever. He's one of the icons in rock and roll. The Q&A we went to with this guy, he's told some really great stories about his past, about what he's doing now. Even more of a fan than I was, whatever. Alice Cooper seems like a real class act. But I went in there not sure if I wanted to get signed. I did bring my Wayne's World Steelbook. Thought it would be cool to get him to sign that. But I seen this print here, and I decided to go with this. So they had this print there on the table, one of the bigger prints. So I got him to sign. It just says on there, it just says Alice Cooper, and he's got 24 for the year. But really nice print of Alice Cooper. I'm going to find me a frame for this. We did find a cover to put it in while we were there. But really cool to have a signature from Alice Cooper, to meet him. It was an absolute honor. So just a legend. Somebody I thought I'd never meet. It was fantastic. Moving on, this is the coolest part for me. This is the part that I was just absolutely geeking out about. Yeah, this was fantastic. The cast of the 2009 Friday the 13th movie was there. Most of the cast. And I did get to meet most of them. I did get to meet everybody. I couldn't get the autograph from everybody. We did go to the Q&A where they had the entire cast out there, and that was fantastic. But we went to the autograph room, whatever. It started to get kind of expensive with the autographs, so I had to kind of pick and choose whose autograph I can get. So what I really wanted to do is I wanted to find a good Jason mask while we were down there, and then get the cast to sign the Jason mask. So we went into the vendor room. We ran into, I think it's 13X Studios. If you watch any videos about any conventions, you're going to see this guy. I heard that he had a really small part in Terrifier 2. This guy makes custom Jason masks, and let's just say they're the best I've ever seen. He had like a Child's Play mask, a Nightmare on Elm Street mask, a Homer Simpson mask. You name it, he's got a mask kind of themed, Jason hockey mask themed on different characters. Well, I told him that I was going to get the 2009 cast, whatever, to sign a hockey mask, and I wanted to purchase a hockey mask from him. He goes down in the back of his supplies there, and he had a 2009 Jason mask that I bought for him $25. Absolute classic mask. It looks beautiful, and that's what I use to get all my signatures on. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the mask here, and then I'm going to throw some pictures up here of everybody I got to sign it so you can put a face with a name. But there's the mask that I picked up. This is from, of course, the 2009 Jason. Derek Mears. And I'll just kind of put this around so you guys can see it. There's all the signatures and everything. So I'll tell you all I got to sign this, whatever. Of course, the very top, I got Derek Mears to sign. Jason, he put on there Jason 09. I got Willa Ford. She played Chelsea. She was the one that got killed under the dock, whatever. She was the one that was water skiing topless and got stabbed under the dock. You got Aaron Yo, whatever, who played Chewie, and you got Aaron Escapalo, whatever, that played Lawrence. And you also got Jonathan Sadowski that played Wade. Now I will say, out of all these guys, whatever, Derek Mears and Jonathan Sadowski were my favorite to meet. They were by far the coolest people that I met. They were all cool, whatever. All the Friday the 13th people were fantastic. But I tell you right now, whatever, the Jonathan Sadowski, whatever, the guy that played Wade, man, he was absolutely fantastic. We had a great conversation. He's the one that died at the very beginning. Spoiler alert. With the first group of kids, when the 2009 version starts, he's the one that's looking for the pot field. He finds the pot field. Right after he finds it, he gets taken out. But this guy was class act. He was super talkative. I actually ran into him later in the convention whenever we're walking through. He walks by and gives me a fist bump. He remembered me from earlier. So that was just fantastic. Aaron Escapado, I don't know how to say his last name. Arlen Escapado, I think it is, the guy that played Lawrence. He's the one that was running from Jason, and Jason throws the axe at him and hits him in the back with the axe, whatever, the big axe throw kill. I told him that was like one of my top 5 kills of the whole franchise, and he really dug that. He thought that was awesome. And the lady that was with him, whatever, as we were talking, whatever, I guess his handler, his manager or whatever, when we were waiting in line for the VIP party later that night, she stopped and talked to me, you know, like very personable. She said, "Hey, nice to see you again. Come over and see us when you get inside the room. Appreciate you coming," all that kind of stuff. So like I said, they were very personable. You know, you felt very welcome talking to these people. Everybody from the Friday the 13th cast were fantastic. But let's talk about Derek Mears for a minute. When I went up to Derek Mears, you know, I was meeting one of the Jasons. This was something that I was super excited about. Didn't think I'd ever be able to do. This is one of the nicest guys. It kind of fucked with me a little bit. You want the character to play that's playing Jason to be kind of maybe a mean, kind of not necessarily rude, but somebody that's a little menacing. Derek Mears was one of the nicest fucking guys I ever met. I mean, when I first met this guy, he shook my hand, kind of gave me a bro hug. You know, I told him it was my first convention. I was honored to meet him, all that kind of shit, whatever. He couldn't be nice enough. I paid for an autograph. Again, you know, he signed the very top of the mask there. Prized possession for me right now. You know, I asked him for a photo, and he says he don't never charge any more for a photo. He didn't charge me anything else. He came around. He let Ryan take some pictures of me and him, whatever, you know, together. Just an absolute blast. Again, I'll throw the picture up there of me and Derek Mears. It was a highlight for me. It was pretty badass. So that was all the autographs we got. And let's just say these autographs go pretty fast when you're dropping $40 to $80 a pop. Obviously, Alice Cooper was the most. He was $80. All the rest of them were right around $40 or $50. Some of them charged extra for a picture. You know, some of them didn't charge any extra for a picture. Actually, I think everybody did except for Derek Mears. But yeah, I'm just going on and on, man. I'm still kind of geeking out about this. It's still pretty fresh, but I'm gonna find somewhere to put this in my room. Just a really cool place to display this. Very excited to have this. So yeah, I would love to get masks from like all the movies and get somebody to sign each one of the masks. That's gonna kind of be a goal for me. If anybody else from any other Friday movies come to conventions, I'm definitely gonna try to get a mask from the other movies. It would be nice to be able to display a mask from every movie with at least one person signing each mask. That would be a goal for me. But I think it's a pretty cool start. 2009 is one that I really enjoy. So as far as the convention goes, you know, we get there. We actually stayed on property. Of course, like I said, we met Brian and Coco. That was a highlight. I can't say how great these people are. I mean, Brian and Coco, it was just, I can't say enough about them. They were just really cool, really fun to hang out with. We did get a chance to spend a lot of time with them. You know, we went to dinner, I think pretty much every meal together for the most part. So got to know them really well. Looking forward to meeting them again, maybe doing some more conventions, hanging out, whatever. We only live about 4.5 hours apart from each other, give or take. So hopefully we can hang out with them a little bit more frequently. Now, like I said, again, about the convention, it was a lot of people there. If you're not a fan of crowds, whatever, it wasn't that bad. This convention was pretty spread out. It was never overly crowded. I know this is one of the smaller of their conventions. The October convention I hear is a lot bigger, but this one here was just a really good vibe. Everybody was super nice. There was a lot of cool costumes down there. If you love to people watch, you can't find a better place to sit and people watch. The costumes were fantastic. Walking around all the vendor stuff, you know, I thought I was going to spend more money in the vendor room. It was a lot of like personal made art, like pictures and statues and stuff like that. And even though I seen a lot of cool stuff, didn't really buy a lot of stuff in there. I think my wife bought more than I did. She found a booth that Coco had told her about. Had a lot of cool earrings, like, you know, little Camp Crystal Lake sign earrings and stuff like that. So my wife and Ryan's wife, you know, did buy some earrings and stuff in there. Me and Ryan did find some cool shirts to buy. He didn't have my size there, so I had to order my shirts. They're coming in a few days, but Ryan bought a couple cool shirts he got there. I did run into me and Ryan did end up going to the TerraVision booth. And, you know, TerraVision is the one that does the Screambox releases. And everybody knows about Screambox, whatever. They release the kind of the random movies that have spine numbers that don't really come out in the same order. One will be number 1, one will be number 7, one will be number 11, whatever. And so you have numbers all over, of the spines all over the place. Well, they did have 2 of the Screambox titles there on the table that I didn't have in my collection. I'll just show you which 2 I grabbed. I grabbed this here. It's a movie called Door. I don't know shit about it, but this is spine number 15 in the Screambox line. And I also picked up a movie called All Jacked Up and Full of Worms, and this is number 7 in the Screambox line. So I haven't seen either one of these before. Like I said, don't really know shit about either one of them. But I did get a chance to talk to the guy from TerraVision, and he basically said that they put out what Screambox licensed for them to release, and he says that they can only put out what they give them and what spine numbers they tell them. He says he knows how psycho collectors are. I guess he knew who he was talking to. He says, but the reason why they only put the numbers on one side of the spine and not on the other, he says, because he knows how crazy collectors are, and some collectors who don't want to have misnumbered spines or spots missing in their collection, he has it on the shelf. He has it where they can put them on the shelf like this and just hide the numbers and not have to worry about it. But I did talk to Tony over at Basement Blues, because I know it aggravates him too. And I gave him some insight on what the guy from TerraVision had to say. And I asked him if he thought that the numbers would ever be all filled in. He shrugged his shoulders and said he had no fucking idea. So don't have any more information on anybody that's interested in the Screenbox number debacle, if you want to call it a debacle. Psychos like me, it's a debacle. But yeah, that was kind of cool to talk to them. They had some really cool releases there, but like I said, I just dropped a shitload of money on autographs, so I couldn't really spend too much more on these. I got a really great deal on both of these. I think he was selling them for $25 a piece. He ended up giving them to me for $20 a piece, so I thought it was a really good price. Both of these are pretty recent releases, I believe, from TerraVision. But that's really all I picked up, whatever. I didn't really grab anything else from the convention. Like I said, grabbed a couple shirts. But I'll tell you what, there was some really cool shit there to look at. If you hadn't done one of these conventions before, it's going to be highly recommended. I can't wait to go back and do another one. I don't think we'll make the one this October, but I know that we are planning on going back to another one next year. I would like to check out Spookala, which is actually a little closer to us. That actually is a little closer to us than the Spooky Empire. But yeah, it's going to be something I'm going to keep an eye on. And my autograph collection has really grown pretty well after this, and I'm hoping to get some more. I don't think I'll go as crazy on autographs the next time around. I have to pick and choose a little more, because they do add it pretty quick. But that's all that I got, guys. Again, go out and subscribe to Brian and Coco's channel. I'm going to link it down below. 13X Studios, I'm going to try to put them down there as well, because I can't rave enough about how great this mask looks. It's just fantastic, whatever. So go out and support him. He has just all kind of shit. I'm pretty sure he has a website. I don't know if he just does conventions only, but I'm pretty sure he has to have a website. I'll try to look it up, link it down below if I can. I'm sure everybody knows who the hell he is. I'm not breaking any ground there. Hope you guys enjoyed this. It was just me kind of ranting and raving and geeking out over all the shit that I got to experience this weekend. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. I'll be back soon with some more content. I got some really cool box sets here, custom box sets that came in the mail while I was out of town this weekend. I'm going to make another video soon about them. It's some new box sets from Blockbuster Box Sets. He has a page over there on Etsy. He's on Facebook, stuff like that. And he does really cool custom box sets. And I got one in this weekend that was just absolutely fantastic looking. So I hope to work on that video later this week, and that'll be up on my channel. So make sure to keep your eyes out for that. But guys, thank you again so much for watching the video. Everybody take care, and I will be back soon with another video.